of all the TV shows that I have watched, who are the couples on those television shows that inspire us to want those couple goals? Good morning, everyone. I am Trey with the First Date Fix, and today we're going to be talking about something that's a bit lighter than things that I typically discuss. With all the information that we're getting on the news in regards to protests, riots, coronavirus, blah, 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 a lot of people have been turning towards their television for some solace. I too have been binging a lot of TV shows, and it got me thinking, of all the TV shows that I have watched, who are the couples on those television shows that inspire us to want those couple goals? Or who are the couples on those television shows that we think, man, I wish I too could have a relationship like that someday? I'll tell you, these are what I like to call my favorite television couples of all time, period. Now, if you watch the end of this video and you find yourself thinking, hey, he missed out this couple or that couple, please feel free to mention them in the comments below, because I'm sure I missed out someone, but these are my favorite couples. Okay, number one, TAMI and Coach Taylor from Friday Night Lights, which I think is probably one of the top 10 shows of all time. If you haven't seen Friday Night Lights, it is on Hulu right now. Do yourself a favor and watch that show. Now, the reason why I like TAMI and Coach Taylor is because they have a lot of arguments, but they have arguments about real things. You know, job conflicts when they work for the exact same school. How is their 16-year-old kid going to date? And not only do they handle various things within their own marriage and relationship, but they also handle things with other people. You know, when they're dealing with various people on the football team, or as TAMI Taylor is a guidance counselor, you know, they also deal with other people within the schools and their relationships and their family dynamics and them going to college. And they have such good team unity, because even when they don't agree, at some point in the episode, they will come together at the end and they will resolve their differences. I think it's a very realistic portrayal of a marriage with people who have two kids who are between the ages of mid-40s and early 50s. It was a fantastic portrayal of marriage in Midwest America, and I loved every part of it. Uncle Phil and Vivian from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now this is a story all about how my life got twisted upside. Okay, I'm not gonna sing the rest, but Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, again, one of the greatest TV shows of all time, and something that birthed one of the greatest actors of all time, Will Smith. Now, the reason why I like Uncle Phil and Vivian so much is because they're both highly educated. In the earlier seasons, Vivian was a professor, Uncle Phil being a lawyer and then turning into a very, very successful judge. And what I think is very, very interesting about how the two of them work is when they're raising kids, they never go over each other's head. They always work as a team, and they always try and figure out how they can educate and discipline, you know, Carlton and Will and Ashley and, well, we're gonna forget Hillary. I really never liked Hillary. I felt like she was a horrible character, waste of screenwriter script. But essentially, they raise them in unison, and they're very strict with their children, but they always operate from a place of empathy and love. And I just love the way they work together. I also like that despite their age, they're always in the mood for some love. There is always an episode where Uncle Phil is putting on some cheesy Barry White music and he's trying to seduce his wife, or she's trying to seduce him. What I think is always interesting about that relationship also is that Uncle Phil is not in great shape. He does not look like your typical Hollywood actor. But she still loves him regardless, because when you get to that stage of marriage, you know, abs and muscles and all that stuff don't really necessarily work, and no one cares about that too much. Nathan and Haley Scott, One Tree Hill. They started off as high school sweethearts. They were at the complete opposite end of the spectrum. She was a nerd, a self-proclaimed geek, and he was the high school basketball star. And what I really like about their relationship is that it proves time and time again that opposites really do attract. Yes, you want someone with the same values and the same views of life, but when you're that young, opposites attract and you two grow together. And what I like about their relationship is that they started as teenagers And they went through so much stuff. Yes, it was kind of a soap TV drama, but they went through infidelity. They went through Nathan losing his job. They went through Hailey trying to get her own identity outside of having a child. Essentially, I like their relationship because it shows you all of the difficulties that relationships might have if they start from the beginning in high school. And what I really like is that Hailey, as a wife, always held Nathan accountable. Always. So much so that their marriage almost broke up. And Nathan was always a grown-ass man, so to speak, but he always had the humility to know that he had made mistakes, and he always thought for his family. Jim and Pam. Now, a lot of people don't always feel the same way I do about this relationship, because essentially it started from infidelity. Every man's worst nightmare is that his wife or girlfriend is being seduced by the other charming guy in the office. But essentially, you know, Jim and Pam were meant to be together. But the whole will they, won't they, when, you know, she was in a relationship and he was just, oh, why won't she take me, was always a good thing to watch. In addition to that, I really like their dynamic in the sense that, you know, he's rooting for her the whole time. Jim is always rooting for Pam to be successful with her artwork when she changes positions, and he knows and sees that she is destined for greatness. And one of the greatest things about relationships is when someone can see the promise that the other person has and can see what they're going to become and can believe in them so much that it ends up propelling that person into greatness that they might not even have known they had themselves. So love that relationship. Monica and Chandler. Now, I know what you might be thinking, this is just a silly sitcom called Friends, right? But Friends, in my opinion, is one of the greatest comedies of all time, okay? If you don't agree, comment below and we will fight in the streets. But Friends is one of the greatest comedies of all time. And what is he doing? Edmund, stop that. My dog thinks he's slick. He's burying his face in the grass, which I really hate when he does that, because then I gotta go in there and I gotta put new soil in, and then I gotta put grass. Chandler and Monica. The reason why I like them so much is because they started as friends, and she experienced all of the rejection that he had firsthand, and he saw all of the rejection that she had firsthand. And even though they were friends and they didn't seem like they had that much in common, they were just a great fit eventually. And it's funny, when you're friends with someone and you eventually end up dating them or marrying them, you know, it's not always about having an abundance of things in common. Instead, it's about the experiences that you have together that sometimes builds a genuine friendship, that sometimes builds a genuine relationship, that sometimes builds an incredible marriage. And that's kind of why I like their relationship so much, is that it started as friends and they eventually became lovers, and they were happily married and had a cute kid and rode off into the sunset. So those are my top television couples. If there are any couples that I have missed out on, please comment below. I'd be very curious, because I'm probably going to see those comments and be like, bloody hell, why didn't I put that in my favorite couples? But essentially, even though these couples aren't necessarily real couples in real life, each one of them deals with real issues. You start to see the potential of things that you might possibly be able to attain in the future, or things in your own marriage and relationship. And sometimes they're inspirational. If you're a man who needs to be called out on his shit, you might see that show and be like, damn, I probably should have thought about that the last time I got into an argument with my woman. Or if you're a woman who sees a part of a TV show of a successful couple, you might think, maybe that's why we have issues in our relationship. Essentially, even though these things aren't necessarily real, they're based on real experiences by some of the screenwriters or producers. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your morning. Let's go!